Yesterday did end up being that kind of delayed fuse that we were talking about, where we saw a drop off later in the day. We saw a high volatility like we expected. And what I want to talk about now is it time to buy ADA and other assets? Is this, in fact, time to accumulate? Because right now we've reached some levels that historically have led to at least some short term relief. So, if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So we're looking at ADA right now. Yesterday was in fact a red candle day. We actually got all the way up to about 62 cents very early on in the day. And then we saw the stock market just start dropping. And this is what we talked about, right? We said the US stock market had a good day. There could be the potential delayed fuse on this where we could see the stock market drop, which we did in fact do. In fact, yesterday we saw over $1.5 trillion wiped out of the stock market. Not really that surprising. That's just sometimes how things play out. And of course, there was a lot of volatility that hit the crypto market along with it. We saw ADA drop down into like this 55, 56 cent range. We saw BTC drop down to, that 70, what was it, 76K range. And then now you guys can see that overnight, we did in fact drop back down into the 74K range, nice bounce back. And what I really want to discuss here is, should this be the spot where we're actually accumulating and taking advantage of these dips that we're at? So me personally, what I'm looking at currently is RSI. And we are very close to some oversold ranges in terms of BTC, in terms of ADA, and almost any asset you look throughout this space, we're in very similar ranges. And what I find very interesting about this is right at about the level where we've had some short-term relief in the past, whether that was, back here in the early part of February, latter part of February, whether that was again back here in August of 2024. I mean, we've hit those same levels that have led to 10, 15% pumps in terms of price. Some of these have kicked off major rallies to the upside. You guys can trace this back in terms of ADA all the way back to January of 2024. You guys can see this back in September of 2023. I mean, the opportunities are really there, but what we're really seeing is this take place everywhere. In terms of BTC, even the last time it got down here, which was back around, March 9th, March 10th, we saw BTC actually rally from about 78K to almost 90K. All right. So we may actually have a bounce here, even if it's just short-lived, even if it's just a short-term bounce, we may see some relief in the short term. And again, you guys can pull this up on your trading view and track this to May of 2024, to July of 2024, August of 2024, September of 2024. You guys get the point, right? We've kind of reached this point where we may in fact be seeing the bottom in this. And why I'm mentioning that is, the panic has, like I've talked about, kind of dissipated. It's just more fear. There's a lot of posturing going on right now between the US and China. And that's really what's injecting still a lot of this. This is the only reason that we're even still having a discussion about this, because the market, again, wants to rally out of these ranges. We are seeing some people trade short term. That's why we're seeing the massive swings in terms of price. Again, we're still dealing with some leverage. There was $443 million worth of liquidations over the last 24 hours. That's not really surprising. You guys can see longs got wrecked over the last 24 hours. That's pretty consistently the theme. Now, what I will say I've found was very interesting is we have actually seen stocks search traffic past crypto for the first time since August of 2024, which is I just thought was very interesting. And a few increases that I saw take place here, and I was just kind of putzing around looking at a bunch of different data. So when we look at actually stock crash, that actually hit some of the highest levels we have seen since all the way back in that early part of August. Go figure. We have actually seen tariff search traffic increase very heavily, actually reaching a 100. This is actually the loudest this noise has been, just to give you guys kind of an idea of where things are been and have been. And in fact, what else was I going to look at? There was something else. Oh yeah, that's right. But what is actually increasing is search traffic for crypto in general, right? Cardano search traffic on the rise. If we look at crypto search traffic, it is on the rise. We look at Bitcoin search traffic, it's on the rise. So right now we're actually seeing the optics increase, which is a great sign. But again, things are just so loud in the space currently that people aren't noticing it, that it's not really affecting the price in the way it normally would. But there's a silver lining to that, because once that crash search traffic drops, once that tariff search traffic drops, which it should, because again, we're getting into negotiations on a lot of these trade deals. It seems like everything's kind of easing up just a little bit. That is where, because people accumulated in this dip, you can start to see some significant moves to the upside. Now, again, this isn't a guarantee or financial advice or anything like that. And obviously, I'm throwing a lot of different stuff at you here. And this isn't my trying to spin this into a positive. Prices sucked. All right, flat out. Nobody likes to see this type of chart, but understand that we're printing a big bull flag. We've done this historically speaking. This has led to some of the biggest opportunities we have had in this space. Yes, it sucks. I would love to see the bags just moon and run to, $5, $7, $15 ADA, but understand that it takes time. Understand that these things happen along the way. This has been one of the worst series of price retracements we've dealt with. And really, the only reason we've gotten this low is because the tariff news has been so consistent, because the black swan events have been so consistent, right? Remember, we've had two of the largest black swan events in crypto history take place just within the last 2 months. All right. That's some context for where we're at currently. If we had not had actually some of these recent black swan events, I would not be surprised if we were at significantly higher prices right now, but it is what it is. We're at where we're at, and we have more opportunity to take advantage of these discounts. Now, again, I'm not telling you guys what to do. You can do whatever you want, but we're in some ranges where we can see some more downside. Understand that, right? I'm not saying this is the moment we're going to pump, we're going to fly, but this is the moment where the market starts to see a little bit of an inflection. We are approaching these oversold ranges. And again, you can get to a point where only so many people are willing to sell. And it's really feeling like we are at that point. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.